Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where we are going to do a full face of Tarte Cosmetics and we are going to go through some of the latest releases from Tarte and I'm going to let you know what I think about them, if I think they're worth purchasing or not, and then we're going to try some new things also to the market like it's called Big Ego, but like this is to me a small ego, mini ego, appropriately sized ego. We're gonna be trying out this palette and a couple of other small things that have just been released to the market from Tarte, together with some things that they've released this year. So hopefully this is gonna turn into a good look and hopefully I can give you some nice tips and tricks of what is worth purchasing from this brand this year, because trust me, it's not all of it. I do not have a Tarte primer, so I'm gonna be using the Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur drops. I really like this one. I think this is an amazing primer and I want to be keeping this makeup on all day, and I feel like this primer really helps me to get the longevity that I want from my makeup, because it helps me to not get oily in the T-zone, which is my biggest concern when it comes to like keeping my makeup on all day, because I have combo skin. And I do have two different foundations from Tarte, and we're actually not going to be using the newest one because it effing sucks. That's why. Okay, so these are the two Tarte foundations that I have. I ended up zooming in a little bit as well so that you can actually see what's going on the face. So I have the Shape Tape Cloud Foundation. This is, how new is this? I think this came out last year. It's a decent foundation. I like it. It's good. Not my favorite, but definitely good. It's kind of a matte finish. It reminds me a little bit of the Fenty Eavesdrop, but I don't like the finish and the longevity as much as the Eavesdrop. The Eavesdrop from Fenty is one of my top 3 foundations of life. This one is a similar finish, but like I don't love it as much. It's like, you know, can I copy your homework but don't make it too obvious? That's what this is. This is the newest foundation from Tarte. This is the Maracuja Juicy Glow. We're not going to be using this because this is so glossy, so sticky. If you have super dry skin and you want dewy skin, I guess this is your babe. Otherwise, stay away. Didn't they release that foundation, this like the juicy one? Didn't they release that on like a tropical destination tripping with Tarte? Imagine being invited to like a tropical destination with Tarte. See this in front of you. It's super warm, it's super humid, you know, palm trees, the whole shebang. You have like oily combo skin, and Tarte is like, you know what we got that we would like you to promote during this trip? Surprise! It's colored butter. If I had been on like Bora Bora or wherever they were going and they gave me that foundation, I would have been like, dude, I can't sell this. Cause like if I were to use that on a tropical destination in a warm and humid climate, I'd look like I woke up in a dumpster. Like they better be releasing a powder with that one as well. It is so glossy sticky. If I set it with powder, I can get away with it, but it still turns out very oily pretty quickly throughout the day, let me tell you. But as you can see with this one, it will dry down, but it's like a medium coverage, honestly, it's a pretty nice finish. I just wish that it held up just a little bit better. If so, this would be a favorite of mine. I like it, but I don't like it as much as the Eavesdrop. This is a new one. This is the Shape Tape Radiant Concealer. Shape Tape comes in the original one, which is pretty drying if you use too much. It's very cakey if you use too much. If you just use a little, it honestly looks really nice. I've tried it out with like my newer techniques and with less products as of late, and you know what? I like it if I use less. The creamy one, there is a video on YouTube with me tossing that one across the room because it is so thick and so goopy, and it's too creamy and too hydrating, and it just ends up looking so thick under the eyes, and you have to use so much powder for it to set down without creasing, so you end up looking old. Like I'm talking ancient old, and it's just not for me. This one I can already tell it's not full coverage. This is not supposed to be full coverage. This is supposed to be a matte but not flat, like a more satin finish concealer with a medium coverage and a thin consistency. And so far, it is definitely all of that. Oh, I think we're gonna be friends. I think we're gonna be besties. If this one doesn't like look cakey or crepey or like super creasy throughout the day, I love a medium coverage concealer. I just think there's something about letting a little bit of your under eye shine through that's just really nice. But not all medium concealers are good. How do I describe this? Sometimes medium concealers look very believable and sometimes they just look like they need more coverage. I think it's something with the finish. I don't know really, because I've used some concealers as of late that's also been medium coverage, but they haven't just looked as good under the eyes. There's something about like it needs to be the perfect amount of coverage and also not look heavy. Like you cannot be thick and heavy and creamy and not be full coverage. Like it needs to be light like this. Wow, that is beautiful. I think we're gonna be friends. I think we're gonna be friends. I'm actually gonna set this with the powder that I've lost. Hello? Hello? I am gonna be using this one. This is the CoverGirl Advanced Radiance something something. I've been using this for quite a bit. As you can see, I have quite the pan in it, and I am gonna be using a powder puff, and I'm gonna be not setting the creases. That's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be setting under my eyes. Look at that. It's so believable, but like you can still see a little bit of my skin come through, so it doesn't look too makeup-y. You know what? It actually did not crease that much. I'm telling you, I think we're gonna be friends. I also set around my nose because this is where I get oily. So I need to set like my T-zone under my eyes, a little on my nose, and here. I also put a little extra concealer here because I had a little bit of a breakout going on. You know what? I really like how my skin looks now because you can see some of my imperfections peek through, but I like that. I think that like sometimes Instagram makeup looks great on Instagram, on social media, but like I want to look flawless, but also like me, like believable. It needs to look like skin. So I feel like I do makeup that looks good on camera, but also not on camera. And if you ever watch my vlog channel, you will see how my makeup looks out and about because I never take my makeup off. I always wear it. I haven't been uploading on my vlog channel so much as of late because I had some problems with the, let me actually start with bronzer. I had some problems with the site that I'm using for music. I had a little snag. I'm pre-filming this quite a bit, so when you're watching this, this probably has gotten resolved, but as I'm filming this, it hasn't gotten resolved, so I'm not able to upload anything more until that has been resolved. If you're wondering like, why haven't you uploaded anything for like weeks? That's why. So I bought this one. This is the Man-Eater like cream bronzer silk stick. You don't get to tell me that that doesn't sound like a sex toy. Silk stick? Okay, that's hard. So this is a bronzer stick. I got mine in Sundown, and I will say it looks a little bit more cool tone than I was expecting. I like to see if I can draw on the skin, because I want to be able to draw on the skin, so I always try and see if that is possible. And I like being able to blend it out with a fluffy brush. That's how I always try cream products the first time, to see, is it possible to use them with my favorite techniques? And this one, definitely. Beautiful. And actually it looks really nice on the skin. Okay, Tarte, I see you. I don't have any brow products, I think, from Tarte. I love how this looks, by the way. I'm absolutely incredibly impressed with this one, and it came in quite a lot of shades. So I think I'm just gonna pop off screen and do my brows. And also I ordered the wrong shade of a thing, so I don't know, maybe I was having way too many mimosas when I bought this one. But yeah, let me show you the little mishap that I had as well. As soon as gosh, that looks beautiful. As soon as I can get some brows on, because we're not doing this. So I bought the Man-Eater Blush and Glow Cheek Plump. This is like a highlighter blush duo, or like, I don't know how highlighty it really is, but it's like a glowy blush liquid. I thought I got this in a peach color, and when I opened this one, I was like, wait, they sent me the wrong color. And then I looked at my order, and no, I did order this one in raspberry. Why did I order this one in raspberry? I have no idea. Maybe, again, I had one too many drinks when I was ordering this one. Part of me was like, damn, I bought the wrong one. And then I was thinking, and I told my friends this as well, I'm like, I'm kind of happy I bought the wrong one, because maybe you're like me, you have a favorite blush color, or you have a couple of favorite blush colors, and you end up buying the exact same shades again and again and again, and at least now I have a new shade to try. And I also quickly wanted to talk a little bit about these squeezy tubes from Tarte that have been released. These are the ones with like a little poof on them. This is the contour ones. I think that the best one is the highlighter one. The highlighter one is the best. It's really pretty on the skin. Maybe we'll even use it today, or some of the other highlighter products I have. This one, the contour one, it's really good as well. It's very similar to how the Charlotte Tilbury is, because it is very sheer but buildable. I like it. It's a little maybe too liquidy, but honestly, it's a good product. The blush ones, these I don't like. This one, the light one, this one is in a secret. This one is in peach. This one is in peach. It's too sheer and it's too watery. And when you try to build it up so that it actually looks like a blush on your skin and not just highlighter, honestly. I mean, I'm a light medium, but like if you don't have fair skin, this isn't going to be a blush on you. And then it's too watery and it ends up lifting whatever's underneath when you try to build it up. This one that I have in cherry, this, I thought this was going to be this color. And I was like, wow, like almost like a red metallic. No, it's this color. Like, do you see the difference? And it is like a liquid lipstick. It dries too quickly. It is way too pigmented to be a blush, and it is matte. They say it's going to be shimmery. The website shows it as shimmery, but I beg to differ. I do not think it's shimmery at all. But let's try this one on. The one in raspberry. It's like a doe foot applicator. How am I going to put this on? Maybe I'll do it like this, because this one is a little darker than blushes that I usually wear. Oh, it's like an almost, you see that, like a mauvey pink? Almost cool tone. I never wear blushes like this. Okay. It was definitely, I was able to sheer it out. I think that looks pretty nice. See if we can build it up a little bit here. Should I let this dry in between? Maybe. I don't have any powder bronzer on now, but I do have a little powder under my eyes. So I'm hoping it's not gonna look too weird together. Let me see if I can brush with my powder brush just over the edges to make it. I think that that looks good, but I do see that it has been lifting my foundation a little bit, which, I mean, I don't love that. But I am gonna let this dry down and we're gonna see how it looks. So let me see if I can start putting some on the other side. Oh, wait. Need to dip my doe foot again. There is a lot of product in this one. You are gonna be blushed for, now I was gonna say years, but let's be honest, generations. Okay, I'm using this with a brush now instead. And you know what? I like it with a brush more because I feel like the moist of the sponge just blended with this formula and made it too wet, and it ended up lifting my foundation. But with a brush, I feel like it looks a lot better. So if you get this one, a small brush, I definitely preferred. I'm actually gonna let this dry down a little bit and see how it is. And I'm gonna blend over the edges with a little bit of powder just to make sure that it looks seamless, because I did apply quite a lot. I'm gonna use a lip liner while we do that. This is the Maracuja Juicy Lip Liner in Soft Pink. And this one is one that you can twist up, but mine sounds like the beginning of a horror movie. There's also a little sharpener if you feel like you need that. I actually might feel like I need that. And I have a new lip product to try. These lip liners are really nice. Not my absolute favorite, but they're really nice. Don't judge me too hard. Okay, maybe judge me a little bit, but I caved and I bought one of these stupid pH changing Maracuja Juicy Shift. So these are the lipsticks that have like a pH, they're not pH, well they are pH adjusting, but all of us have pretty much the same pH, and that's why we're all getting pretty much the same pink. Science, I know. So I got the orange one because it smells just sweet. It doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't smell like what it's called. I think it's called clementine, or Yeah, Clementine. So this is one of those that you click up, and it's like a see-through orange. And I'm gonna have pink lips, aren't I? But this is what I'm thinking. Pink blush, we're gonna do pink eyeshadow, pink lips. I am Barbie today. Goes on super smooth, looks super glossy, very comfortable. It's like a sheer peachy orange color. Let's see how pink this turns. There's a little tingle in here. I think it's like more minty. It's cooling. It's not that like, oh my god, my lips are burning, they're falling off. You know, I hate that. Like the lip plumping, they're like spicy. Oh, absolutely not. I do not want that in my life. I don't feel like this is that, but there's definitely some kind of a tingly sensation going on. Okay, we are going to be using the Big Eagle eyeshadow palette, but I feel like this one has somewhat dried down. And here's the thing. I have that highlighter that I showed you, but I also have these two highlighter products from Tarte. This is the Glow Light, which is like their version of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter Hollywood something expensive skin. You know what I'm talking about. I have mine in Glimmer. Honestly, this is a really good product. I think it is beautiful, and this one works best when you don't have a lot of blush because it has a base color to it. You can mix this with foundation. You can wear it. I like to wear this on top of my skin when I'm having like almost like a no makeup day, which I never do, but like when I'm less like fuss free. I think this is a beautiful highlighter. And then we have this one. This is they're doing the Maracuja Juicy. They're going hard on that one. But this is the same clicky style, and this is a glow, and this is a cream highlighter, and you can see how well used this is. This one made it to my yearly favorites of last year. This one I think is in champagne something, and that is most definitely some kind of an animal hair. Not supposed to be there. I got mine in Champagne Glow. Beautiful product. This is a glow. I'm gonna use it like this to not disturb the highlighter too much. This is a glow that looks just believable. I love how this looks, and I'm just gonna add this to have a little bit extra glow up here. I like putting it on top of my brows because I have the world's smallest forehead, and I like my forehead to appear just a little longer. I know that people sometimes try to like contour their forehead away, but my forehead is already away. I don't need it to be more away. So this is how that one looks. I think this is a beautiful product, and I still 100% recommend this one. I think it is beautiful. I don't know if it's available on all places that sell Tarte, because you know that some things are available only at Ulta, and some are only at QVC, and some are only at Sephora, and nobody has time to deal with all of that. But I think I bought mine at Sephora. I think it looks beautiful. I will link everything down below where I'm finding these things. And I think I'm gonna go in with just a light wash of powder just to set this down a little bit. Not mattify it, but just set it down a little bit, because we are gonna be using some eyeshadows now. I still think it looks really good, just a little bit more matted down because we don't need to be that crazy. And I'm gonna use a little Fix Plus. I think that looks incredible. Now we look glowy but not wet. And I want this to last all day. So we're gonna do the Big Eagle palette. Let me show you some swatches actually of this palette. It's just a 6-pan palette with 2 mattes, and well, there's one matte with shimmer. It's like almost like a black duochrome. It's like gold shimmers from one angle, matte from one angle, and purple shimmer from another angle. And then there are 2 more like almost satiny shades, and then the one that seems more like a sparkly metallic. So I am gonna do a little eye primer, and we are gonna see what we can get from this one. I feel like my skin is looking really good. I'm actually really liking how it looks, but you can see still here where that blush lifted a little bit of the foundation. Like you can't see it here, but you can definitely see it here. Not perfect, but at least now I know that when I use a sponge, it just ends up being a little bit too wet. I'm gonna start with this one, the Orchid one, because I am really feeling like this is gonna be the main attraction. That is beautiful. I'm gonna push that into the crease. And I think we're gonna do smoky eye, right? Like you're gonna answer me back, but I feel like a smoky eye with that dark color on the lid. I feel like that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna put this on both of my creases, and I'm also gonna try and push this on my lower lash line. You can see right now I'm just pushing. I will blend in a little bit, but right now I'm just pushing this into the crease to get it to be as opaque as possible. And I'll worry about the blending in a minute. Now with a smaller brush, this is the Cinch EO4. I love this brush for blending edges. We are just going to be buffing on this edge to make it seem a little bit more blended. And I'm just going to buff and buff and buff. And if I need to, I'll add a little bit more of the same color. And I am just going to make this edge as blended as possible without using any blending out shades, because I want to see like how would it look with just this palette and also not using that brown shade. So I mean, the blend is definitely not seamless, but maybe we can be okay with that. We're gonna have to be okay with that because I don't want to use the brown. But yeah, it's definitely a little rough over here. Feel like this palette would have needed a, well, I don't know, maybe it's me like being stubborn and not wanting to start with the brown. I wanted to see how like bold we could go, and apparently I went all in. That's the life I'm living. So I think I'm gonna use this brush, and I'm gonna use this like matte situation here that has like sparkles in it. Oh, that is dry when I put my brush in. It's like sandpaper city. We'll see. Huh? Well, it's just on my cheeks. What was the point? What was the point? Okay, this is gonna take a bit. Wow, that is sad. And just now I have black here. Why is this so dry? Like, I don't know if you can hear. It's like so hardly packed dry. I'm gonna see if I can get this on my eyes and just blend it into my crease a bit, but expectations are low. The bar is literally in hell. I mean, with some determination, I was able to make this something, but it definitely wasn't easy. It definitely wasn't effortless, and I need to fix. Do you see that black? I need to refix this. I need to take that away because I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see the black pigment. I'm gonna have to put some new concealer and stuff there because that was not sexy. The look is, I don't know. Maybe we can see before I fix the under eyes. I am a mess in this video. But maybe we can see if we can try and do a little bit of this champagne-y one in the inner corner. Oh god, there's black here too. Oh my, oh, there's black everywhere. I'm gonna have to redo my under eyes. I never have to do that, but there's literally black everywhere. Oh my. But I still want to see if I can get this champagne-y shade to do something for me. I mean, that's decent. I like that shade. But now I'm gonna try and salvage this a little bit. Give me a moment. I tried to save it. I don't know when my eye makeup looked this bad last. Like, it is so choppy here, and this palette, it is the, oh my god, it's even covered with the black. It is the opposite of easy to work with. This mediocre train wreck of a look took way too much effort. The purple is not blendable, or like the pinky purple. Let me show you. This one, not blendable. It is, well, you get eyes. You get eyes. This one, well, this one, dry. Dry, fallouty, hard-pressed. So The lips look nice. They did turn a little pink. They did. They're very cooling now, like a cooling plumping sensation. Definitely not stingy, it's cooling. The skin, I was almost able to salvage it, but it's looking a little gray here. It's not good. It's far from good. So yeah, let me actually try and put on a lash. Why am I putting on a lash? I'm not keeping this. Let me just zoom out and we can talk about how awful this is. At least my hair is cute, because Lord knows my makeup is not. I love the bronzer stick though, and I mean, I do love a lot of things from Tarte, but this palette ruined everything. It's so bad. I can see it in the viewfinder. Let's pretend this video never happened. Subscribe to see some actually good makeup looks, unlike this one. Have a good day, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.